من لساني يفقهوا قولي. I seek protection of Allah from shaitan who has been expelled from God's gracious kingdom of mercy. We have all gathered here tonight to find out the answer to many of our questions. When we look into the skies at night, we always tend to try and count how many stars are there in the sky. We try and try, but alas, the counting always beats us and we are left wondering and amazed. But a question arises, how many of us have actually tried to seek the significance of the stars, the beauty and the amazement in these creations? How many of us have actually looked into the wisdom the stars have? This is why the Astronomy Subcommittee of the Debating Society of Hussaini Madrasa has organized this event to help us understand the beauty of our Creator and thus appreciate and thank Him for the many bounties He has bestowed upon us. But before we go ahead, I would like to call upon Brother Ali Asad Ismail to bless this event with a recitation of a few verses of the Holy Quran.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم تبارك الذي جعل في السماء بروجا وجعل فيها سراجا وقمرا منيرا وهو الذي جعل الليل والنهار خلفة لمن أراد أن يذكر أو أراد شكورا وعباد الرحمن الذين يمشون على الأرض هونا وإذا خاطبهم الجاهلون قالوا سلاما والذين يبيتون لربهم سجدا وقياما والذين يقولون ربنا اصرف عنا عذاب جهنم إن عذابها كان غراما. In the name of Allah, the most beneficent, the most merciful. Blessed is he who has placed in the sky great stars and placed therein a burning lamp and a luminous moon. And it is he who has made the night and the day in succession for whoever desires to remember or desires gratitude. And the servants of the most merciful are those who walk upon the earth easily, and when the ignorant address them harshly they say words of peace. And those who spend part of the night to their Lord, prostrating and standing in prayer. And those who say, O our Lord, advert us from the punishment of hell. Indeed, its punishment is ever adhering. صدق الله العلي العظيم.
Our son, Brother Ali Asad Ismail, for a very beautiful verses from the Holy Quran. Next, we have a short video in store for you. The video regards the stars and their life cycles. Thereafter, we will call upon Sheikh Khalidina to enlighten us with his knowledge.
When you look at the night sky, stars look like
Now, I'm sure many of us have questions in our minds, and I believe we will all get the answer to these questions. So let us welcome Sheikh Khalidina to enlighten us with his knowledge and hopefully answer many of our questions. Let us welcome him to the loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. We seek the protection of God from shaitan who has been disqualified from God's kingdom of special grace and mercy. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. We ask for special guidance and grace from God because He is the absolute perfect being. He is the all-merciful one and His mercy is eternal, abundant, unimaginable. Alhamdulillah. والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا محمد وآله الطاهرين. And we send our salutations and greetings on the Holy Prophet and on his holy progeny, who are the best guides for mankind till the end of time. Elders, brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. The topic chosen by the organizers of this program is the wisdom of stars. As an introduction, I would like to remind ourselves that as believers in God and as followers of the guidance of the Holy Quran, we need to develop this attitude that everything in the universe is a sign of God. There is nothing which is uncreated. One. If everything is created, it is a manifestation. Two. If it's a manifestation, therefore definitely it will lead us to the Creator. Three. But you need to have the right perspective and the right attitude as you look at these signs, otherwise you'll miss them out. And therefore the Quran emphasizes the study of the ayat globally. In fact, it condemns when a person does not study the ayat. So in Surah Yasin, for example, as in other surahs, وَمَا تَأْتِيهِمْ مِنْ آيَةٍ مِنْ آيَاتِ رَبِّهِمْ. There's not a single sign of the multitude of the signs, the indicators, the communications of their Lord that come to them. Oh, you don't have to seek them, they come to you. Interesting. The Quran, assuming that this is not talking about miracles which are sent to the people, assuming that the ayah here is for every sign, therefore the signs in the creation come to us, they manifest themselves, they show themselves to us, they demonstrate, they display. No, they speak to us. They say, hello, Mr. XYZ, you, yes, you, I'm talking to you. I don't have to go to the sign is coming to me. Kwa nini? Kwa sababu the creator of the sign is a loving, caring, cherishing, nourishing, providing, protecting, guiding Lord. And He's an ever-living Lord, and therefore an ever-speaking Lord, an ever-showing Lord, and ever manifesting, continuously displaying and demonstrating Lord. So not a single sign comes to them from the multitude of the signs of their loving Lord. إِلَّا كَانُوا عَنْهَا مُعْرِضِينَ. The problem with mankind is they turn away, they ignore, they disregard, they're too occupied in petty, mundane affairs to be able to focus on these beautiful, wonderful signs. In fact, in Surah Fussilat, chapter 41, ayah 53, Allah says, سَنُرِيهِمْ آيَاتِنَا, and we will soon show them. No, we continuously show them. We display, we demonstrate. Fil afaqi, our signs and our indicators and our communications in the horizons, in the heavens, in the universe. وَفِي أَنفُسِهِمْ, and also in themselves. On a daily basis, God talks to us. Our wakeful, sleeping cycle is a sign from God. Those in the state of sleep who see dreams, a sign from God. حَتَّى يَتَبَيَّنَ لَهُمْ أَنَّهُ الْحَقِّ. And this continuous display of signs and communications from the Lord will continue up until such time that the evidence is so clear, it's undeniable. It is not possible on the day of judgment for this all-loving, all-merciful, all-talking, all-inviting Lord to punish until and unless this individual has been saturated, has been bombarded with information, with communication, with signs. But he has been asleep, he has been ignoring, he has been disregarding, he's turning himself away. On the day of judgment, suddenly when his attention will be drawn, he can't deny. Oh, the information that is out there about stars, all you need to do is raise your head. And it's there in multitude that we cannot even absorb. So the signs of God are plentiful throughout creation. So God talks about human creation, for example, about embryology, about the human body itself, about the sleep cycle, about the soul, about the plant world, about the animals, about the birds, about the bees, about provisions that He gives on a constant basis. It's not there by chance. About the heavens, about the earth, about the sun, about the stars, shades. Shades has been mentioned as a sign of God. Mountains, clouds, rain, thunderstorms specifically, lightning, the sea, the sailing of ships, and the list goes on. Basically, anywhere and everywhere you look above the heavens, you look below the earth, you look into the mountains, you look at the animal, plant world, you look at the birds. Everywhere you look, there's nothing but signs of God. So it is an example, the number of verses that talk about the heavens and the earth. So in Surah Al Imran, chapter 190, chapter 3, ayah 190, إِنَّ فِي خَلْقِ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ, the creation of the heavens and the earth. لَآيَاتٍ لِأُولِي الْأَلْبَابِ, there are signs for those who are people of intellect, of understanding, or wisdom. In Surah Baqarah, ayah 164, إِنَّ فِي خَلْقِ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ, and a list of 5-6 different signs are mentioned towards the end. لَآيَاتٍ لِقَوْمٍ يَعْقِلُونَ, there are signs for those who reflect. So first of all, you have to seek, you have to study, you have to understand. And once you realize, then you connect, you reflect, you contemplate, and you conclude. Or in Surah Rum, وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ, 5 times وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ has been mentioned in Surah Rum. One of them is about the heavens and the earth. وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ, and of His multiple signs, خَلْقُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ إِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ لَآيَاتٍ لِلْعَالِمِينَ إِنَّ فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ لَآيَاتٍ لِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ, Surah 45, Jathiyah. For those who seek to believe, to seek the truth and receive it and understand it and accept it, if you really are seeking it, or there are enough signs around. Surah Dukhan, chapter 44, ayah 29. خَلَقَ اللَّهُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضَ بِالْحَقِّ, Allah has created the heavens and the earth with a plan, with a purpose. It's all based on truth. إِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ لَآيَاتٍ لِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ. In Surah Yunus, chapter 10, ayah 3. إِنَّ رَبَّكُمُ اللَّهُ الَّذِي خَلَقَ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. Then towards the end, ذَلِكُمُ اللَّهُ رَبُّكُمْ فَاعْبُدُوهُ أَفَلَا تَذَكَّرُونَ. That He alone can be your true Lord. Will you not take admonishment? And there are many other verses. So Surah Ankabut, ayah 61. Surah Ghafir, chapter 40, ayah 57. Surah Ibrahim, chapter 14, ayah number 10. And Surah Dhariyat, chapter 51, ayah 47. And Surah Anbiya, chapter 21, ayah 32. And Surah Ra'ad, chapter 13, ayah number 2. So in short, the Quran keeps on reminding in surahs which were revealed in Mecca. So for example, Ra'ad and Dhariyat and Ghafir and Ankabut. And in surahs which were revealed in Medina, for example, Baqarah and Ali Imran. Throughout this period, Allah keeps on reminding that His signs are plentiful in the heavens and the earth. This is heavens and the earth generally speaking. Specifically about the sun and the moon and the stars, there are extra verses. So Surah Yunus, ayah number 5, هُوَ الَّذِي جَعَلَ الشَّمْسَ ضِيَاءً وَالْقَمَرَ نُورًا. Or in Surah Nuh, chapter 71, ayah 15, أَلَمْ تَرَوْا, why don't you observe, why don't you study كَيْفَ خَلَقَ اللَّهُ سَبْعَ سَمَاوَاتٍ طِبَاقًا, how Allah has created the different levels of the heaven. وَجَعَلَ الْقَمَرَ فِيهِنَّ نُورًا وَجَعَلَ الشَّمْسَ سِرَاجًا, how the sun is a source of light. Find out, study. Well, you see it is there, but understand why, how. Surah Ibrahim, chapter 14, ayah 33. وَسَخَّرَ لَكُمُ الشَّمْسَ وَالْقَمَرَ دَائِبَيْنِ. And the sun and the moon have been created in such a way that they are continuously and submissively designated to be in your service for your benefit. Well, how is it that the sun and the moon works? What is this moon? What is unique about this moon compared to the other moons, for example, that makes it so important for the stability, for the appearance and the stability of life on the earth, for example? The Quran is challenging us. Consider this, study this, find out. وَسَخَّرَ الشَّمْسَ وَالْقَمَرَ, Surah Fatir, chapter 35, ayah 13. كُلٌّ يَجْرِي. All of them are in an orbit, in movement, لِأَجَلٍ مُسَمَّى. But all of this creation is not permanent. Don't you get fooled into thinking that this is a cyclical, periodical, continuous, endless process whereby this universe is formed and then it'll collapse and then it'll form again and then it'll collapse. No, لِأَجَلٍ مُسَمَّى. It has been designed for a predetermined period. And وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ اللَّيْلُ وَالنَّهَارُ وَالشَّمْسُ وَالْقَمَرُ لَا تَسْجُدُوا لِلشَّمْسِ وَلَا لِلْقَمَرِ وَاسْجُدُوا لِلَّهِ الَّذِي خَلَقَهُنَّ إِن كُنتُمْ إِيَّاهُ تَعْبُدُونَ. Is this ayah wajib al-sajda? Sorry? I'm sorry. When you come across an ayah in which there is mention of sajda, even if you're not in the state of tahara, even if you don't face the qibla, the only thing which is necessary is the place on which you do your sajda should be sahih, should be tahir, and immediately you fall to the ground. I'm sorry, this is a wajib sajda ayah. Samahani sa'ana. لا إله إلا الله حقا حقا لا إله إلا الله تعبد. And then ayah number 38, 39, 40, the famous ayah of Surah Yasin. Surah Anbiya chapter 21, He's the one who created the night and the day. وَالشَّمْسَ وَالْقَمَرَ, the sun and the moon. كُلٌّ فِي فَلَكٍ يَسْبَحُونَ, all of them are in perfect orbit. Surah Ma'arij chapter 70, ayah number 40. فَلَا أُقْسِمُ بِرَبِّ الْمَشَارِقِ وَالْمَغَارِبِ, I swear or I don't swear. We'll discuss that later on, why this can be interpreted in two ways and what is the meaning of that. I swear by the sunrise and the sunset. And Surah Muddathir chapter 73, ayah 32. And Surah An'am chapter 6, ayah 97. وَهُوَ الَّذِي جَعَلَ لَكُمُ النُّجُومَ, and He is the one who's made the stars. But these stars have got a specific, well-designed, well-planned movement in relation to the earth, in such a way that there are certain constantly appearing stars over a period of time in a particular orientation and direction. Therefore, لِتَهْتَدُوا بِهَا فِي ظُلُمَاتِ الْبَرِّ وَالْبَحْرِ, in case you get lost in the darkness of the night and you have no access to orientation or direction, then these stars are a constant source of guidance. It's not by chance. It's a simple phenomenon. Some people rarely will come across it in their lifetime, where you get lost, but your only means of survival is this particular star pointing in a particular direction. Not by chance. It has been designed that it moves in particular orbits in relation to the earth. So the Quran is challenging. وَقَدْ فَصَّلْنَا الْآيَاتِ we have explained our signs in details لِقَوْمٍ يَعْلَمُونَ, but only for those people who seek to understand. Finally, conclusion. So, different signs been mentioned everywhere. Heavens and the earth, the whole of the universe, especially sun and the moon and the stars. And then finally, look at this ayah, which is in Surah Rum, chapter 30, ayah 27. وَلَهُ الْمَثَلُ الْأَعْلَى فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ وَهُوَ الْعَزِيزُ الْحَكِيمُ. For him, or to him belong, وَلَهُ, to him belong what? The مَثَلُ الْأَعْلَى. What is the مَثَلُ الْأَعْلَى? The loftiest, or the most sublime. Mathal, the likeness, or similitude, or description, or example. The most highest, the most mightiest, the most dignified, the most excellent example. You're looking for any manifestation, any sign, any description, any example to understand the beauty of the Lord, the best of them are of the Lord. Qanini, and they're there all over in the heavens and the earth. Why? وَهُوَ الْعَزِيزُ الْحَكِيمُ, because He's the Almighty and He's the All-Wise. You want to see power in its full manifestation? You want to see wisdom in its profundity? Look around, and the best examples can be seen. So, let's focus on the stars from all these signs. In Surah Waqi'ah, chapter 56, ayah 72, Allah says, فَلَا أُقْسِمُ بِمَوَاقِعِ النُّجُومِ. And I swear by the setting of the stars. Oh, sorry. I swear by the setting of the stars, or the position of the stars, or the position of, or the orbits, or the movement of the stars. This is assuming that this la is an extra la which the Arabs sometimes use in their language, but it doesn't have a meaning in the sentence. فَلَا أُقْسِمُ, meaning فَأُقْسِمُ بِمَوَاقِعِ النُّجُومِ. Or no, another interpretation of this ayah is فَلَا أُقْسِمُ. No, I do not swear, because I don't want to swear, because I don't need to swear. In fact, I will never ever swear. Sorry, this person who is in charge. Yeah. I don't need to swear by any worthy object. Even if you can imagine the greatest of the objects, وَلَهُ الْمَثَلُ الْأَعْلَى, the best of the examples you can imagine, as a sign, as an indication, as a manifestation. I don't need to swear by these things to prove the truth of the Quran. وَإِنَّهُ لَقَسَمٌ لَوْ تَعْلَمُونَ عَظِيمٌ. Mawaqi', meaning either the positions or the places of the rising or setting of the stars, or no, the rise and the fall of the stars on the Day of Judgment, or no, the orbit of the stars, or the path of the stars, or the constellation position of the stars, or of the planets. If you say nujum is anything which appears and then disappears, and that is what the planets also do. إِنَّهُ لَقَسَمٌ لَوْ تَعْلَمُونَ عَظِيمٌ. Whether I do swear, or in fact, even if I don't swear, but if I were to swear, this is an object great, significant, important for swearing. So, stars have been introduced in the Quran as a beautiful sign which is worthy of swearing and studying. Professor Sagan, Carl Sagan, an atheist, a declared proud, arrogant atheist, 96 he died. He prepared a famous series of programs known as the Cosmos, which was popular back in the 60s and 70s. And notice what he says. What do you want to study about the stars? There's nothing great or interesting. There's nothing unusual about the stars and the earth. This earth is just an average, unassuming rock which is spinning mindlessly around an unremarkable star. The sun is just an ordinary star. We've got many of other stars just like the sun, in fact bigger than the sun. And it's just this sun and the other stars, they're just part of a galaxy, and this galaxy is just an ordinary galaxy. There are many other galaxies just like this. And therefore we're just a lonely speck in the great enveloping cosmic darkness. So you may spend a lot of time trying to study the stars, and then around the stars the planet Earth, and then this particular star the sun, but there's nothing remarkable about it. You're not going to reach any fantastic conclusions about there being a great design and a designer. So he says that life on our planet isn't exceptional. This star that you see and the planet that's rotating around this particular star and the life that has evolved here, it's not something extraordinary. Life on our planet isn't exceptional. Creatures of all kinds, surely they abound in countless locations amongst the 10 trillion billion stars in the universe. They are presuming, these astronomers, that a galaxy has billions of stars, and almost a third of them should have planets, and definitely some of these planets should have life. So don't think that life on the earth is something unique, and therefore this design of the stars shows a designer. Some estimated there are up to 10 trillion advanced civilizations. Professor Sagan says 1 million for our Milky Way galaxy alone. Out of the billions of stars in our galaxy, he presumes that almost 1 million have planets, and therefore definitely there will be stars out there. The only problem is we can't reach them. Question. So when you look at the stars, are we going to adopt the attitude of Professor Sagan and who he represents amongst the astronomers and the cosmologists and the scientists who said this is nothing extraordinary? Or are you going to take the approach and the attitude of the Quran which says, no, إِنَّهُ لَقَسَمٌ لَوْ تَعْلَمُونَ عَظِيمٌ. The Quran challenges. In Surah Nazi'at, chapter 79, Allah says, أَأَنْتُمْ أَشَدُّ خَلْقًا أَمِ السَّمَاءُ بَنَاهَا. Are you greater, or the heavens which have been created are stronger and mightier and greater than you? Or in Surah Ghafir chapter 40, we already saw that, ayah number 57, Allah says, لَخَلْقُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ أَكْبَرُ مِنْ خَلْقِ النَّاسِ وَلَكِنَّ أَكْثَرَ النَّاسِ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ. There's a certain striking might and wonder and beauty in the creation of the heavens and the earth, much greater than that in the creation of the human beings. But وَلَكِنَّ أَكْثَرَ النَّاسِ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ. So look at this. Sagan says a galaxy is estimated to have 100 million to 200 million to 1 billion or more than 1 billion stars. And therefore, can I have a marker? Therefore, even if you don't have a marker, therefore 1 million of these billion stars will have life. They'll have planets, and definitely some of them will have, you know, millionaire, billionaire. Now we're talking about trillions. The Americans have started this war in Afghanistan, Iraq. Their budgetary deficit is into trillions. But you know, these figures, they look ordinary, but they're not ordinary. Just to give you an example, let's say this is 0. Let's say this is 1 million. And let's say this is 1 billion. Sorry, I will not tell you where is the million. that'd be misleading, sorry. Let us say, okay, a million is, 10 raised to 6 zeros. Billion is 10 raised to 9 zeros. I'm taking the American notation. So, just to give you an idea, where do you think will be a million? If we have a scale 0 to 1 billion, sorry, don't look at this. It was misleading. Where is a million? If you were to put a dot, where would a million be if this is the scale of 0 to 1 billion? Yes? So you're saying this is where 1 million is going to be? Okay. Anybody else? Yes? Anybody else? Any different opinion?
1,000.
Sorry?
It's 1,000.
Yes. So where do you think where would you think it'll be?
The 1,000 was just so very close to zero.
Yeah, very close to zero. This is halfway. This is a quarter way. This is 1/8. This is about 1/10. But like you said, it's not 1/10, it's not 1/100th, it's not 1,000, it's not 1/10,000, it's 1/1,000,000th. My God. You know what? This distance has to be divided into a million. This thing here, maybe a tiny dot, is 1,000,000 compared to that billion. Can you imagine the scale? The numbers look billion, trillion, quadrillion, quintillion. It's very easy to pronounce them, but the actual distance and the actual numbers are much great. Now look at the numbers the astronomers are telling us. They say imagine just for the sake of comparison, if the distance from the sun to the earth 150 million what? Sorry? What's the distance? Miles or kilometers? Kilometers. 150 billion kilometers were the distance that was there between our palm, sun to the earth. Okay? Just imagine. Then they say, suppose you started walking. Let's say you became a huge giant, and your gigantic size was such that the distance from your one end of the palm to the other was the distance between the sun and the earth. So therefore this giant will be walking with these huge strides across the universe. We want to know how far these planets are. You think it's all a game of chance. That's what Sagan wants to tell us. Look at this. With every stride that you take, in fact, you would be moving at a speed faster than the speed of light, 2,000 times faster. Technology and science is basically handicapped by the speed of light. We don't know a speed faster than the speed of light. This is an imaginary speed, a speed 2,000 that of the speed of light. To reach the nearest next star at the speed of 2,000 times the speed of light would take you 19 straight hours of walking without stop. That's really far. And you're telling us all this is here by chance. Most of these stars that you see at night time, minimum, forget hours, forget days, forget months, you're talking about a minimum walk of 20 years this giant has to walk, to up to 40 years of walking at the speed of 2,000 times the speed of light before you reach the next nearest star. These are unimaginable. These are mind-boggling distances. And yet when you look, you just see one little twinkling star. And the collection of the stars forms the galaxy. And once you finish our own local galaxy, the Milky Way, then you have a huge distance separating us from the next galaxy. This giant traveling at the speed of 1 2,000 times the speed of light, were to reach the nearest next galaxy, walking without stop, you need 1,200 years of walking. Not possible in our lifetime, definitely. I think the charging did not take place. Star 4 light years away. And the problem is, when you look at further stars, the stars of our own galaxy form a barrier. It's just like trying to see through a windshield on which raindrops have settled, and they block the view. You don't have a wiper that can remove these raindrops. They will necessarily block your view of the further stars. The nearest galaxy, which we said this giant would need 1,200 years to reach, in actual distance terms is 2 million light years away. Light traveling at its speed of 186,000 miles per second will take 2 million years. In other words, this light that we see coming to our eyes today began from the source star 2 million years ago. So, consider the size and the magnitude of the galaxy and the universe. If this estimate is true that there are 100 billion or more stars per galaxy, and there are about 100 billion or so galaxies, and if you count there, 7 billion, 6 to 7 billion people on the earth, per person, you can have for free 60 galaxies. Not stars, not planets, not the whole of the earth. Take a galaxy. Not 1, not 10, take 60, maybe even 100. We don't even know. This is our current estimate. No. It's limited by how much we can see. There's something beyond what we can see. So 60, 100 galaxies per person. Each galaxy with about 100 to 200 million stars. The problem with mankind is their technology is limited to understanding how much of the universe, how big is the size of the universe. Only the visible part of the universe is 20 billion light years across. And we are located at the center, meaning from whichever direction of the earth you look around, the distance seems to be the same. Obviously limited by our technology. The greater the technology, more the periphery we can begin to observe. And the farthest observable object so far is about 12 billion light years away. Another interesting fact to wonder about is that I showed you the galaxy with these arms. Remember, this galaxy with these spiral arms, each arm may contain millions of stars separated by millions of light years. The interesting thing is about Quran keeps on using this word, not once but several times. You notice once was in Surah Yasin, but there was another ayah also which mentions that. Kullun fi falakin yasbahun. Each star, each planet, each celestial object is in an orbit swimming freely. They have calculated, for example, the distance, the speed of movement of the arm, the spiral arm of the galaxy is about 140 miles per second. 200 kilometers per second. What's the fastest speed that we know about? How fast is a car? The fastest land moving object? The fastest jet is calculated to move at a speed of 1 mile per second. And the galaxy is moving at a speed of 140 miles per second. We're in motion right now because we are in part of the arm of the galaxy, Milky Way. We're moving at a very high speed right now. كُلٌّ فِي فَلَكٍ يَسْبَحُونَ. Why? Where did this energy come from for the galaxies, for the stars to be moving so fast? They say it's the Big Bang. Once the explosion took place, the universe is expanding and the stars are moving away, and with the weakening of the gravity forces between the celestial objects as they get further away, the speed builds up. It's not only going to be 140 miles per second, it's going to rise. As you go further away, the speed may reach 200, 500 miles per second, 1,000 miles per second for all you know, as you go further away. So the outermost will be faster. Could be 1,000 miles per second. In fact, it is estimated that the outermost could be traveling at 1/3 the speed of light, which if it's 186,000 miles per second comes to 62,000 miles per second. Per second. Unimaginable. So that's the falak yasbahun. An average galaxy takes about 250 million years to complete one rotation. وَالشَّمْسُ تَجْرِي لِمُسْتَقَرٍ لَهَا ذَلِكَ تَقْدِيرُ الْعَزِيزِ الْعَلِيمِ. The sun is on a path, it's moving. The stars are on a path, it's moving. So, the earth is rotating around the sun. The sun itself is rotating around the center of the galaxy. It takes about 250 million years for it to complete one full cycle around the galaxy. So the sun has been calculated to have circled 16 times since creation. That clip that was shown in the beginning said that the life of the sun is about 4-5 billion years, and there's another 4 to 5 billion years. We're in the mid-cycle stage of the sun's life. There's 16 more times the sun will rotate around the center before it dies. And then of course the death, as we discussed before, إِذَا الشَّمْسُ كُوِّرَتْ. One interesting thing about the size of the universe is this picture. When you zoom out, these bright objects look to be brighter stars. When you zoom in, you discover that no, they're not stars, they are a collection of stars, they're a galaxy. In fact, when you zoom in further, you find it's not a galaxy, it's a collection of galaxies. No. Here, if you focus, you think it's empty. But that's not true. Your eyes are not powerful enough. So look at this Hubble telescope, which doesn't have the raindrops on the windshield. If the Hubble telescope is tuned to a small patch of space, so far away and very, very, very dark, no source of light there. So you think it is void and empty. But give it time. 10 days, just keep your photofilm ready to absorb that little particle of photons to come. And suddenly you discover, my God, what I thought was empty is actually full. Not full of stars, full of galaxies. That black patch. فَلَا أُقْسِمُ بِمَا تُبْصِرُونَ وَمَا لَا تُبْصِرُونَ. I swear by that which you see, and I swear by that which you don't see. And you won't see. You won't see. With all the advance in technology, there will be this final limit. You will be handicapped. There will be a limit to what you will ever be able to see. Forget about reaching there. Forget about traveling. Even our giant needs 1,200 years just to reach the nearest galaxy. So, conclusion. The universe is riddled and filled with galaxies all over. I'm going to skip all these details because they require a lot of discussion. I want to reach the end conclusion. The Quran, when it keeps on repeating the admonishment that keep on looking around at the wonder of the stars, it wants us to appreciate this basic fact that nothing is possible by chance. This wonderful creation is by design. Chance cannot explain this. Carl Sagan and his colleagues reject this. But look at the evidence. This is Professor Davis, Professor of Theoretical Physics in the Australian University. He says that it's amazing that life on Earth is balanced on a knife edge. Earth, forget about the Earth, we're talking about the stars. The entire universe is balanced on a knife edge. The universe would be in total chaos if any of the natural constants were off even slightly. So, even if you dismiss the appearance of the human being on the earth as a chance, they say Adam and Hawa were living in Arusha, somewhere in Kilimanjaro. That's where they found Lucy Ausio, the Olduvai Gorge. So let's say you dismiss man as a chance appearance. But what are you going to do with the rest of the universe? Look at him. He says, the fact remains that the universe seems unreasonably suited to the existence of life, almost contrived. You might say almost it's a design put up job, made up job. Because the universe could have been different, but it is not different. It is this way, where gravity has a constant, where the nuclear forces have a constant, where the electron has a constant, where the proton has a constant. It has a particular weight, it has a particular electrical attraction. If it was to be different, slightly different, not plus minus 1, or 0.01, or 0.0001, no. If it was slightly different, to the slightest extent, life would not have been possible. So look at what they say. He's a classical example of a man in jail. He's in prison. The most brilliant mind in the worst body. His body is paralyzed totally, from the top to the bottom. But his brain is brilliant. This prisoner, look at him what he says. Professor Hawking, that's his voice synthesizer. If the electrical charge of the electron, minus 0, it's 0.0000 something. If the electron charge had been only slightly different, that means instead of being 0.00010 times, it's 0.009 times. Very insignificant. But if it had been that different, stars would have been unable to burn hydrogen and helium, or else they would not have exploded. It seems clear that there are relatively few ranges of values for the numbers and for the physical constants, the constants of the universe, that would allow for development of any form of intelligent life. Most sets of values would give rise to universes that, although they might be very beautiful, would contain no one able to think and contemplate and reflect and have a class about wonder of stars or the wisdom of stars. Just a slight change in the constant. Question, how come of all the millions or the uncountable number of variables that were possible, this particular one was chosen, or was the one which made the universe? these are details about physics of how if the constants were slightly different, life would have become impossible. So one constant does seem to require an incredible, unbelievable amount of fine-tuning. You need something of the accuracy to about 120 decimal places. The existence of life of any kind seems to require a cancellation between the different contributions to the vacuum energy accurate to about 120 decimal places. And then he says, so 120 zeros. Instead you have slightly different. No life possible. Conclusion, and I stop here. This is a beautiful example he gives. He says that Professor Michael Turner, the precision is as if one could throw a dart across the entire universe, a universe which is 20 billion light years across, and you hit this dart, the bull's eye, the bullseye is only 1 millimeter in diameter on the other side of the universe. The precision, the accuracy, the exactitude with which this design has been made, impossible, not once, not twice, but 10 raised to the power of 30, impossible for it to be by chance. And that's why the Quran says, look and you'll see the design. Of course, not look with this eye only. Look with the mind's eye. Look with the scientific mind. Look with the calculating mind. Look with the reflective mind. Look with the experimental mind. Look with the analytical mind. Observe and you'll reach the conclusion. I can go on, but I just want to stop with one ayah. In Surah Tur, one of the best times for studying the stars has been mentioned. Anyone? Which time are you going to go and observe the stars? Yes? Morning. Stars, they would have set, isn't it? They would have disappeared. You'll have to do it before the morning, isn't it? Yes. Which part of the night? Yes, of course it's midnight. Better? Surah Tur, chapter 52, ayah number 48 and 49. وَاصْبِرْ لِحُكْمِ رَبِّكَ فَإِنَّكَ بِأَعْيُنِنَا. O Prophet, you are being accused and you are being degraded and you are being called names, God forbid, magician, liar, soothsayer, brings legends and myths and false stories from the past. I don't know, messengers he keeps on talking about. His mind is deranged, God forbid. They call you all these names and yet you know you have the most profound wisdom. O Prophet, have sabr for the sake of your Lord. Your Lord wants to treat these people gently, kindly. Give them time. If not today, tomorrow they'll wake up. If not them, maybe their children. If not the children, maybe those people who will come in contact with them and who they will try to block, but then they will bypass and reach you. Give time. Give time and the truth will spread. وَاصْبِرْ لِحُكْمِ رَبِّكَ فَإِنَّكَ بِأَعْيُنِنَا. Don't worry, you are under our close watch. We're watching everything. We see how your heart feels when they speak to you in this particular way. Trust us, entrust yourself to us, and we will take care of you. Oh Lord, it's difficult, I can't do it. Every time I walk, they throw stones at me and they throw these words at me. It's very difficult. Oh Lord, what should I do? Well, let me tell you the secret, what you should do. You should be a strong person. Develop a thick skin. Where am I going to get this thick skin from? وَسَبِّحْ بِحَمْدِ رَبِّكَ حِينَ تَقُومُ. Whenever you rise up either from sleep or rise up to do some work, make sure you glorify your Lord. Celebrate His praise. وَمِنَ اللَّيْلِ فَسَبِّحُّ. Not only during the daytime, but also during the nighttime. No. وَإِدْبَارَ النُّجُومِ. He said in the morning. The ayah is a little before the morning. Not dawn, pre-dawn. The riwayah says the best time to make tasbih, pre-dawn. Well, the ayah could have said pre-dawn, go and make tasbih. The ayah doesn't say that. The ayah says when the stars are about to disappear. Go and look for the stars, my friend. Wonder at them. Realize the wisdom. Make the tasbih. And of course you make your prayers. Incidentally, the riwayah says, Idbar al-Nujum refers to the 2 rak'ah prayer that a person prays Salatul Fajr, before Salatul Fajr, the nafilah of the Salah. Let's pray to Allah for tawfiq to be able to appreciate the wonderful wisdom of the creation, especially of the stars. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. If there is any clarification or question.